For the 80s Mania tour later this year. He joins us now from London. Good morning, Paul, or good evening to you.
Good evening, Iz, and good morning to you.
We can't wait for you to get here because, I mean, the 80s, David and I were just saying, it's never really gone away. People are saying there's a resurgence, but it's just continued on. I mean, why do you think it's still so loved?
It's funny you should say that because we're in the midst of a big Red Nose week here. And there's a DJ who's dancing to non-stop 80s tunes for 24 hours.
Wow.
And I was thinking, how funny that they picked 80s tunes. But I think the whole thing about the 80s is he's got a cartoon-like quality, not just in the music, but what everybody was wearing, the whole thing. So it's so easy for people to hark back to it. It really personified itself in one big sort of balloon, you know.
Even some of the clips were quite cartoon-like, weren't
Yeah,
they?
I think it's feel-good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's all feel-good.
Yeah, sure.
So you're touring with some absolute icons. We spoke to Go West last week, Cutting Crew, Wang Chung. You know, I'm curious about, obviously you knew Go West back in the day, but some of these other ones like Wang Chung and Cutting Crew, did you cross paths with these guys?
Oh, yeah. In fact, Wang Chung were managed by my manager for a while.
Wow.
So it's incredible how you know these guys. And Nick from the Cutting Crew, I've done a couple of tours with him. The only one I haven't met is Taylor Dane, who
Oh, OK.
is on...
Yeah, I think Go West
some of
said that
these
to us
shows,
last week. They
she's
said
American.
no one's met Taylor yet, so she's going to make a huge impression.
You'll love her.
Yeah,
she's fun.
great.
And we hear that you're all sharing a tour bus. So, Paul, what happens if you don't get along with someone? Does it get awkward ever?
I've never known that to happen. It all depends what size tour bus it is. Is it a tour bus or a tour transit van?
Yes, good point.
Because there might be a point where you can't get away. But what I do is I pretend to be asleep.
Oh, you're a pretender. OK, no worries. I know those guys on planes too. They're really good. Let's. You got to perform one of your biggest hits every time you go away with the late great George Michael and Sir Elton John. This is at Wembley Arena. Have a reminder.
Yeah.
Every time you go away, you take a piece of me with you.
Your memories of working with George Michael, you know, now that he's gone, it's a big deal that he's passed on.
Yeah, it is a big deal. And it's funny because I think he drifted out of most of our lives. Towards the end, he was quite, what's the word, reclusive. And I used to see so much more of him in the 80s. We used to bump into each other at the same restaurants and things like that. And he was such a likeable guy. I didn't know him much towards the end, but once the news of his passing came, loads of stuff kept getting thrown up on the social media, and there was a lovely photo of me with George after the Prince's Trust concert. And so I treasure those moments. And it was, when we did that song together, I'd already done the song once, and George turned up late and wanted to be involved in some way in the concert because he wasn't sure if he could make it. And he said, the song I know the best is Every Time You Go Away. I went, well, I've done it, but hey, it's going to be different if you come on and do it. And there was no rehearsal. There was a talk through backstage. That's all we did. And it was so amazing. It worked so well.
That is an iconic concert
Mark
too.
of true talent right there, I think. Now, Wherever I Lay My Hat was another massive hit of yours, Paul. Marvin Gaye originally recorded that song. Did you have any reservations about sort of filling his shoes?
I think I was young enough not to care, really. I think I worry more about it now. But I mean, the thing I do when I cover songs is I always try to change it from the original. So then, when I'm doing it, people are less likely to want to compare. Whereas if it was a note-for-note copy, then it'd be easier to make the comparison. But I thought I'd just put a different slant on the song, and that stops me worrying so much about comparisons.
Well, we'd love to have you in when you come down to Australia. Please catch up with us then. Paul, great to speak to you again.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, Paul Young on the 80s Mania Tour, which kicks off in November. Head to our website for details.
Coming up on today.